In this video, we're gonna be talking about the perpetual inventory system, its definition, parts, types, and its steps in conducting it. Also, we're gonna be talking about the journalizing about the perpetual inventory system. So, before we start in our main topic, let us define these terms. So, what is merchandise? The merchandise is the commodities or goods that are bought and sold in the business. So basically, ang merchandise ay ang commodities or goods na nabibenta o nabibili sa isang business o negosyo. So, let's talk about what is business. Business defined as organization or enterprising entity engaged in commercial, industrial, or professional activities. Businesses can be for-profit entities or non-profit organizations. Business types range from limited liability companies to sole proprietorships, corporations, and partnership. So, pag sinabi nating business, ito ay isang organisasyon or enterprising activity na nag-engage sa commercial, industrial, or professional activities. Tapos ang business, pwede siyang maging profit entities, pwede rin siyang hindi na ginagamit ng mga organizations. Tapos, merong mga types ang business. Ito ay ang sole proprietorship, which mean na isa lang ang nagmamay-ari. Corporations, maraming nagmamay-ari. Partnership, maraming nagmamay-ari pero ganun din. What is merchandising business? A merchandising business, sometimes called merchandisers, is one of the most common types of businesses we interact with daily. It is a business that purchases finished products and resells them to consumers. Think of the last time we went shopping for food, household items, or personal supplies. You were likely in a merchandising business. That store had purchased the items wholesale from the distributor or a manufacturer and made it available to you. While the store may have been required to purchase in large quantities, they offer the product to you in a small, personal use size. So, ang merchandising business ay pwede nating tawagin as merchandisers. Isa ito sa mga common types ng businesses na ginagamit natin sa ating araw-araw. Ito ay business na kung saan bumibili ito ng finished product and binibenta naman nila ito sa consumer. So, one of the example is that when you buy a food or household items or a personalized supplies, ibig sabihin ikaw ay parang nasa merchandising business na. Sabay, ang store ay, or yung mga buyers, sila yung bumibili ng wholesale sa suppliers and then they resell it to the consumers or customers in a small scale. Therefore, they offer product to you in a small or personal use size. There are essentially two types of merchandising businesses: retail merchandising and wholesale merchandising. A retail merchandising company is one that sells goods and products or merchandise directly to the consumers, whereas a wholesale company is one that buys the products in bulk and resells them to retailers or other wholesalers. So, ang merchandise business ay may two types, which are the retail merchandising and the wholesale merchandising. Ang retail merchandising is yung mga nagbebenta ng mga goods and products or merchandise directly to the consumers or direkta sa mga customers and consumers. Ang wholesale naman, wholesale company, yung mga nagbebenta ng mga product in a bulk and resells them to the retailers or other wholesalers. Ibig sabihin, nagbebenta sila in a large scale or large quantity of product for the resellers or mga retailer merchandising company.
What is inventory? It refers to all the items, goods, merchandise, and materials held by a business for selling in the market to earn a profit. So, ang inventory ay nagre-refer siya sa items, goods, merchandise, and materials na ino-hold ng mga businesses para mabenta at kumita. What is inventory system? An inventory system management system or inventory system is the process by which you track your goods throughout your entire supply chain, from purchasing to production to end sales. It governs how you approach inventory management for your business. Ang inventory system ay ang proseso na kung saan ay tinatrack mo ang goods mo throughout your entire supply, from purchasing sa pagbili, to production sa paggawa, hanggang sa pagbenta o ang end sales.
So we're now in our main topic, the perpetual and periodic inventory system. We're going to be defining it and differentiate these two terms. Perpetual inventory system. In layman's terms, the word perpetual means continuing, forever, or tuloy-tuloy or walang hanggan in Filipino. The perpetual inventory system is called as such because under this system, the inventory account or merchandise inventory account is updated each time a purchase or sale is made. Thus, the inventory account shows continuing or running balance of the goods on hand. According to layman's terms, ang word na perpetual ay continuing forever or sa Tagalog ay ito ay tuloy-tuloy o walang hanggan. Ang perpetual inventory system ay natawag na perpetual inventory system because it updates each time a purchase or sale is made. Ibig sabihin, nire-record agad nito kapag may mga transactions such as purchase or sale ang nangyari. So, ang inventory account shows a continuing or running balance of the goods on hand. Perpetual inventory system keeps continual track of your inventory balances. Updates are automatically made when you receive or sell inventory. Purchases and returns are immediately recorded in your inventory accounts. For example, a grocery store may use a perpetual inventory system. So, ang perpetual inventory system ay nagki-keep ng continuous track of the inventory balances. It updates automatically kapag na-receive nyo or nakabenta ka na ng inventory. So, purchases and returns are immediately recorded. Ibig sabihin, nare-record agad ito kapag ang purchase ay returns ay nangyari. So, for example, ang mga grocery stores, they can use a perpetual inventory system as their inventory system.
Periodic inventory system. In layman's term, the word periodic means occurring or recurring at regular intervals or panapanahon in Filipino. The periodic inventory system is called as such because under this system, the inventory account or merchandise inventory account is updated only when a physical count of inventory is performed. Thus, the amount of inventory and cost of goods sold are determined only periodically. A periodic inventory system is a form of inventory valuation where the inventory account is updated at the end of an accounting periodic rather than after every sale and purchase. The methods allow a business to track its beginning inventory and ending inventory within an account periodic. Ang ibig sabihin ng word na periodic ay occurring or recurring at regular intervals sa Tagalog. Ito ay panapanahon. Ito ay tinatawag na periodic inventory system dahil ang inventory system account nito ay na-update lang kapag ang physical count ng inventory ay na-perform, kaya naman ang account ng inventory at cost of goods sold ay malalaman lang periodically.
Advantages of perpetual inventory system. Records data in real time. A perpetual system records inventory updates and movements as they happen. This means that you can trust your inventory counts to be accurate at all times.
Provide a detailed paper trail. A perpetual inventory system tracks inventory movements and interaction throughout your e-commerce supply chain. This data will give you more insight about the bottlenecks in your procedure so you can find to optimize your supply chain.
Decreases inventory management costs. With real-time updates, inventory holding costs and inventory replenishments are controlled and minimized. Since perpetual inventory systems automate many processes that would be manual, it can save on labor costs. Forecast demand more accurately. A real-time inventory system makes forecasting demand simple. Historical inventory and sales data can be used to predict futures, sales cycles, and ensure that you have an optimal amount of inventory during different times in the season, such as the holidays. Disadvantages of perpetual inventory system.
Number 1. Loss of items. The first disadvantage is the vulnerability to loss of items. This system does have function that ensure quick and easy inventory recording. However, the absence of physical check in this system has the potential for the loss of goods and can result in company losses.
Number 2, scanning errors. One of the important things that must be in the perpetual inventory system is that each item must have a barcode. The presence of a barcode or tag on each item is used to make it easier for you to scan all items. Suppose an error occurs and the scanning system fails to be detected. In that case, the company will not record the item in the system.
Number 3, improper inventory tracking. The main problem in the inventory system is improper inventory tracking. If this happens, the tracking the company's goods and inventory in the warehouse or store will hamper your business operations. Therefore, you can use effective and efficient backups to support recording in the perpetual inventory system.
Number 4, hacking. One of the things you need to be aware of when it comes to system is hacking. Irresponsible hacking will threaten the security of all company data and information. This also applies to the perpetual inventory system in your company. Therefore, you should make sure to protect company data securely. The existence of hacking can result in the leakage of the company data. If this happens, your company will be considered to have no credibility and the system is not optimal. Number 5, theft. The last weakness is that it is vulnerable to theft. A perpetual inventory system does not guarantee that the stock of goods in your company will remain safe from theft. The possibility of theft by irresponsible people is still very large. Therefore, a company must implement strict procedures to prevent theft, which can harm the company. If items are lost due to the theft, this will impact your records in perpetual inventory system. How does the perpetual inventory system work? Step 1. Point of sale system updates inventory levels. Whenever a product is sold, the inventory management system attached to the POS or point of sale system immediately applies the debit to the main inventory across all sales channels. Barcodes or RFID radio frequency identification scanners make this process quick and easy. So, according to the step, when the product is sold, the inventory management system attached to the POS will immediately applies it to the debit to the main inventory across all sales channels.
Step 2. Cost of goods sold is updated automatically. Whenever a product is sold or received, the cost of goods sold gets recalculated.
Step 3. Reorder points are adjusted frequently. Based on historical data, a perpetual inventory system will automatically update reorder points as sales increases or decreases to keep an optimal level of inventory at all times.
Step 4. Purchase orders are automatically generated. Whenever an item or SKU hit its recorded point, the system generates a new purchase order and sends it to your supplier with no human intervention.
Step 5. Received products are scanned into inventory. When inventory is sent to your warehouse, a warehouse employee will scan product using Warehouse Management Software or WMS so they appear in your inventory management dashboard and make them available for purchase on all or select sales channels.
Purchase transaction. When companies purchase goods they intend to sell to customers, the transaction is recorded in the merchandise inventory account. A current asset. Inventory is recorded at cost, which includes the price paid for the goods plus all necessary costs of getting the inventory to the company's place of business and ready to sell. The rules of pre-onboard determine whether right cost of the inventory. Example number 1. 800 of inventory is purchased for cash. Pre-onboard shipping point. In a separate transaction, the purchaser pays 100 of shipping charges to the shipping company, which are added to the cost of inventory. Therefore, the total cost of inventory purchase is at 800 purchase plus shipping charge. Before we proceed to the transaction, let us first what are we in the situation. Always know whether you are the buyer or the seller in the transaction. Some of the accounts used and some of the peso amounts recorded will differ depending on whether you are the buyer or the seller in the transaction. So in example number 1, 800 of inventory is purchased for cash. In separate transaction, the purchaser pays 100 shipping charges to the shipping company. So the account titles we were used are merchandising inventory and cash. So let's analyze what is the credit and debit side of the transaction.
Therefore, the debited account is the merchandise inventory with the amount of 800 pesos. And the credited account is the cash with the amount of 800 pesos also. On a separate transaction, the debited account is merchandise inventory with the amount of 100 pesos. And the credited account is cash with the amount of 100 pesos. Example 2. 800 pesos of inventory is purchased on account E on board shipping. The seller pays 100 pesos to the shipping company on behalf of the buyer, which is added to the seller's invoice. The credit terms offered by the seller are 2% na 10 days to 30 days. Therefore, the total cost of inventory purchase is 100 pesos purchase price less 100 shipping charges. Upon analyzing the problem, we can say that we are the seller in this situation. Since we purchased the inventory on account, the account titles were the merchandise inventory and the accounts payable. The debited account were the merchandise inventory with the amount of 900 because the inventory and the shipping point were added. Therefore, 800 plus 100 is equals to 900. So the amount of merchandise inventory that is debited is 900 pesos. The credited account is the accounts payable. Just like in the merchandise inventory, the cost of the merchandise is added from the shipping point. So the amount of the accounts payable is 900 pesos. And added to that transaction, 200 pesos of merchandise purchase is returned to the prior payment. So the purchase was returned by the buyer, and according to that, the reasons might have, or perhaps it is shrinkage. The debited account is the accounts payable with the amount of 200 pesos, and the credited amount is the merchandise inventory with 200 pesos of amount. When the invoice is paid within the discount period, 800 pesos purchase will be subtracted to 200 pesos returned, and it will be equal to 600 pesos. And then the interest rate is the 2% the merchandise, which is the 12 pesos discount. So, and the company owe it a 700 pesos because of the 600 from the purchase amount and the 100 pesos shipping. So, when it will going to be subtracted to 12 pesos discount. So, the cash that you should be paid is 688 pesos. When the invoice is paid within discount period, 800 pesos purchase minus 200 pesos return is equals to 600 pesos merchandise times 2% is equals to 12 pesos discount. 700 pesos owed from the 600 pesos plus 100 pesos shipping fee minus 12 pesos discount is equal to 688 pesos paid. Therefore, the debited account is the account payable with the amount of 700 pesos, and the credited accounts are the cash and merchandise inventory, and the amount of cash is 688 pesos and merchandise inventory with 12 pesos because of the interest. Another transaction is the sales transaction. When companies sell merchandise inventory, the transaction requires two journal entries. The first entry records the revenue from the sale at the selling price, and second entry decreases the inventory accounts and records the expenses of the sale as cost. Example number 2. Inventory is sold for 300 pesos cash, free on board shipping point. In separate transaction, the purchaser pays 100 pesos of shipping charges to the shipping company. The total cost of the inventory when purchased was 640. So we're going to have a separate journalizing. So the first one is that the debited account is a cash with the amount of 100 pesos, and the credited account is sales with the amount of 800 pesos. And for another transaction, the debited account is the cost of goods sold, the amount of 650 pesos, and The credited account is the merchandise inventory with the amount of 640 pesos. Therefore, the debited account is the sales return and allowances with the amount of 200 pesos, and the credited account is cash with the amount of 200 pesos. And for another transaction, journalizing entry, the debited account is merchandise inventory with the amount of 160 pesos, and the credited account is the cost of goods sold with the amount of 160 pesos.